Hi guys, this is Zanveer, and today the topic is OOP, which means Object Oriented Programming. As you can see on my screen, that today I will be explaining you with the help of slides what is OOP. Uh, let's go to the definition. OOP is Object Oriented Programming, as I said earlier, is a computer programming model that organizes software design around data or objects rather than functional logic. We have seen functional programming; we create functions, etc. But in this programming we create objects. All right, an object can be defined as a data field that has unique attributes and behavior. What is an object? An object in this matter is, for example, I can create a human class or person class, a person object. Now that person object has some attributes: his color, his height, his age, his name. These are his attributes. That is what is meant by the unique attributes and behavior. Now let's talk about the structure of OOP. First we'll go to the classes. Classes are user defined data types that act as the blueprint of individual objects, attributes or methods. We create a class, for example person class. Now that person class has a blueprint, it has attributes, it has methods. Now let's talk about objects. Objects are instances of classes created with specifically defined data. Now object can correspond to the real world objects or an abstract entity. For example, when a class is defined initially, the description is the only object that is defined. A real world example of object is a car. Car has attributes like, for example, color, its model, its engine, anything that can correspond to the attribute of the car is we can call that this is the attribute of that object, that specific object. Now let's talk about methods. Methods are functions that are defined inside a class that describe the behavior of the object. Each method contained in class definition starts with a reference to an instant object. Alright, each method, for example, a person class or a person object or a car object. A car has a start function or start method. Now whenever that method is called, the car will start. Alright. Additionally, the subroutines contained in an object are called instance methods. Programmer use methods for reusability or keeping functionality encapsulated inside each one at a time, inside one object at a time. All right. Now, let's talk about attributes. I'll come to the concept of encapsulation in the next slide, but for now let's talk about the attributes. Attributes are defined in the class template and represent the state of an object. Object will have data stored in an attribute field. Class attributes belongs to class itself. Now, what are attributes? As I said earlier, these are the qualities or the you can say it represents the state of an object. Alright, it will have some data stored about the object. For example, the color attribute of the car has the color stored in it, right? It has some information about the car. So this is what attribute is. Now let's come to the next slide. What are the main principles? There are four main principles in OOP: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance and polymorphism. Let's talk about encapsulation. Now basically what we do in encapsulation is we hide the data that we do not want to be exposed and we only show the selected information. Other objects, for example, the implementation of the and state of each object are primarily held inside a defined class. Other objects do not have access to this class or the authority to make changes in it. They are only able to call a list of public functions that we have allowed to be open and publicly be accessible. They can only call that function. They cannot make changes to it. The characteristic of data hiding provides greater program security and avoid unintended data corruption. That is what encapsulation is. It is basically the security of your data. Abstraction. Objects can only reveal internal mechanisms that are relevant for the use of the objects, hiding an unnecessary implemented code. The derived class can have its functionality extended. This concept can help developer make additional changes or additions over time. Alright. But now let's talk about inheritance. Classes can reuse code from other classes. Relationships and subclasses between objects can be assigned, enabling developers to reuse a common logic while still maintaining a unique hierarchy. This property of OOP forces a more thorough data analysis, and it reduces development time and ensures higher level accuracy. Now, what is inheritance in simpler words? Inheritance means basically inheriting qualities or inheriting abilities of your superior classes, of your parent classes. Now, we have two classes that are child class, and we have a parent class on top of it. Now, these two child classes will inherit the abilities of the parent class as we go down the hierarchy. This the common example word example is that we have attributes of our parents, but our parents do not have attributes of us. They have transferred their attributes to us. We are the child, they are the parent. They are transferring the data to us, their attributes, their hair color, their height, their structure, whatsoever. That is how inheritance work in OOP. Now let's talk about polymorphism. In polymorphism, it is designed to, objects are designed to share behaviors, and they can take on more than one form. For example, one class, we have one class, and we want to give it different functionalities and call it in two different places, but having different parameters, right? The program will determine which meaning or usage is necessary for each execution of that object from a parent class, reducing the need to duplicate the code. A child class is then created which extends the functionality of the parent class. Polymorphism allows different type of object to pass through the same interface. For example, it has a when we call the same class with the same name but different parameters, this is called method overloading. We should in order to polymorphism that it can work, we have to call these two class one class in two different places but having different parameters, and different by different parameters I mean one in one function and one call. We were calling one class with the parameter of having strings, right? It has string parameters, but now again I am calling this function in another place, and it has a parameter which is int. Now this is called polymorphism. All right, calling same function in two different places but with different parameters. Now let's talk about benefits of OOP. It has object OOP model complex made models complex things as a listen. OOP makes things reproducible, simple structures. All right, reusable OOP objects can be used across the program. These objects we can call anywhere in the program. Allows for class specific behavior through polymorphism. As I've introduced you to earlier about as I have told you about polymorphism earlier, that we are calling it with for specific behavior, like, right? Easier to debug, all right, and secure. It is secured through what? Encapsulation. See. Now let's talk. This is the life cycle of, or we can say, benefits of OOP. So guys, this is what OOP is, and in simpler words, it's a very big concept if you go into depth. Let me know if you want a second part about it, and for now I'm done.